Hey guys, I'm Beth, aka the Fitness Princess, and I want to share with you today what has been on my heart the last couple of weeks. Um, First off, I must tell you that the last couple of years have been crazy, to say the least. So let's start at the beginning, and I will share with you what I've been learning along the way. So 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I started my fitness journey. It was April 29th, 2013. We had just gotten back from Disney World, and I knew that I not just my food, but my whole lifestyle needed to change. Before we went to Disney, I saw a picture of me. I don't remember which picture it was. But I saw a picture of me and I saw it and I was just like, whoa, things need to change. I did not like the way I looked. I was nitpicky about everything, from what I was wearing to how I looked. And I just knew right then and there that things needed to change. So I said, okay, once we get back from Disney, we're going on a lifestyle change. And it was at that point that really set me on this journey. And I remember my first meal, partially because it shows up in my time hop every year on April 29th. And it was a meal from Subway. And I'm not saying Subway's bad, but I'm just saying that I have learned a lot from that point and going forward. It was about that time that clean eating was like super popular. And I was like, what the heck is clean eating? I don't understand. So I started doing research and figuring out what this clean eating thing was. And I started making small changes. And so, I've evolved into what it is today. And I have to be honest. My mindset has not been all there. And I'm going to explain to you why and how I'm feeling today. So that was the start of my story. And then not this past November, but November of 2014, I decided I was going to do my first Whole30. And I had read the book, It Starts With Food, which, by the way, if you've not read that book, you should absolutely read it, whether or not you're interested in doing a Whole30. It will really change the way you think about what you put into your body. So I read the book and I said, okay, I'm doing Whole30. Now I also don't recommend doing Whole30 in November. Two things for me. One, it was Thanksgiving, and two was my birthday. So I decided, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna make it work for me. And I did. And it just so happened that my brothers and my dad and my husband all went on a ski trip over Thanksgiving. And it was just my mom and I. And so I made a very low-key Thanksgiving that was Whole30 approved. And I made it through. And it was fantastic. Lucky for me, my birthday was also that same weekend. And so, being my birthday the last day of November, I, finished up my Whole30, and that was the biggest birthday present I could have given myself because I felt so fantastic. Well, Whole30 is supposed to kind of be like an elimination diet. You take certain things out of your diet and then you put them back in slowly to see how your body reacts. And at that point, I already knew that I didn't do well with dairy and I didn't do well with grains. And so I was like, I'm not going to add it back in. So I just ran with it. And then, being December, definitely didn't stick to any sort of plan. And so I said, okay, January 1, I'm doing the Whole30. That's the most popular month to do Whole30 is January. Obviously, because people are making so many New Year's resolutions, weight loss being one of them. And So I did one in January, and I was not really prepared to do another one, but I made it through, and I was glad I did it. And I still didn't apply any of those guidelines to my life, and just was on this really strange journey of trying to figure out what I need to eat. And I've always adhered to sort of a paleo lifestyle. I just feel the best when I eat paleo because grains are an inflammatory food, and I have a lot of pain in my legs when I eat grains, so I've just kept them at bay. Don't eat them very often. And, dairy, I don't do well with dairy, so I don't consume a lot of dairy. But I had this principle of 80-20 lifestyle. So 80% of the time I'm eating really good, on track, and 20% of the time I can eat whatever I want. So I was trying to figure the balance between the 80-20. And it got pretty bad, and I was eating just junk. And so May of last year, I said, okay, I'm doing another Whole30. I'm going to make this stick this time. I'm going to adhere to the guidelines after I get through. And then things just changed. May of last year, I lost my granny, and I quit my Whole30 21 days into it. And because we had a lot of family friends that were bringing us food to eat, and it was just very hard to stick with the program. Now, that was partially an excuse for me, but partially that was my real life, and my whole world came crashing down the moment that my granny had a stroke and was in the hospital. So I was dealing with the emotional side of that, and I just couldn't deal with trying to stick with this eating plan, so I quit. Well, then my world came crashing down even more, and the reality of her being gone was really hard, and my husband was traveling every week for his job, so I was trying to deal with the grieving process of losing my grandmother, who my whole life lived 3 miles down the road. I saw her a lot, and so I was trying to deal with all of that, and I was trying to deal with my husband being gone, and I didn't have anybody to talk to about this loss in my life. And so I can see now that I sunk into this somewhat of depression state, just grieving and trying to do it all on my own, and didn't have anybody really to talk to about it. And it was hard. It was so hard. And my nutrition just went out the window right then and there. So I went down this, several months of just eating whatever the heck I wanted to comfort me. And I've never been an emotional eater. That's the thing. I have never needed food to comfort me. But at this time in my life, I did. And so in November, I was like, okay, I've got to get my stuff together. January 1, I'm doing another Whole30 to get back on track. And then early December, my husband got a job opportunity in Oklahoma, so we packed up our whole house, sold it, and moved within 3 weeks' time. And in there were holidays. And so I was thinking, there's no way I can do a Whole30, and plus my cousin got married in January, so that just gave me another excuse to eat cake. And so I didn't do anything about it. I didn't start my Whole30 in January. I just didn't do anything about it. So then January 11th, I got back on the wagon of working out daily, and then we moved into our house, and my gym area was like the one spot that was the cleanest because I needed the space to work out. And I started just watching, making healthier choices, really. And then I started Hammer and Chisel, which you guys got to watch me go through that journey on Facebook and my other social media accounts. And then after that, We went on a cruise. Well, during the middle of it, we went on a cruise, and I just enjoyed myself. And I said, okay, once we get back from the cruise, I'm doing another Whole30, thinking that's going to amp up my nutrition. I knew that I could lose weight with it, even though weight was supposed to be just a positive consequence of doing the program. But I was really using it to jumpstart the weight loss. So I started my Whole30. My first week was absolutely perfect. We even had company, and I did fantastic. And then my second week into the program, I was doing awesome too, but I was thinking about my mental state. And I was thinking, I've been doing all of this personal development and reading my Bible and just really trying to work on me as a person and who I want to be known for. And I have always struggled with self-image. I've struggled with my weight. I've fought with the scale. I've been addicted to weighing on the scale every day. And I had just gotten to the point where, since we moved, my scale was packed. And so I put it away, and I only weighed to get the statistics for the program that I was doing, because that's, in order to get your free t-shirt, you got to put in your weight. And so that's the only time I ever stepped on the scale, and I was just doing really well and didn't feel the need to weigh. And so during this Whole30, I was thinking, which, if you're doing a Whole30, you're not supposed to weigh for the 30 days anyway. And so I knew I didn't need to weigh, and I was just having more positive attitude towards food. And I was thinking, okay, why am I really doing this Whole30? And it came back to lose weight. And I don't want my goal to always be to lose weight. Yes, I know that I need to lose weight because I am overweight. But I don't want that to be my overall goal. My overall goal is to be healthy. My overall goal is to someday have biological kids. And my overall goal is to lead a healthy lifestyle. And I don't want it to always be focused on that number, because that number does not tell you a lot of things. It doesn't tell you your worth. Your worth is not wrapped up in a number on the scale. It does not tell you how much you're loved. It's not telling you how capable you are of overcoming obstacles. It doesn't tell you that you didn't have any sweets all week long, and that is a huge struggle for you. That it doesn't tell you any of that stuff. And so I was thinking, well, why do I need to focus on weight loss? I really just need to focus on being healthy. And so my mindset shifted. And then I was like, okay, well, why am I doing this Whole30? I don't think I need to be doing a Whole30 right now. My mentality is not there. It's not good for my mental state. And I only say that because my mental state is learning that 80-20 lifestyle. That 80-20 lifestyle is sustainable. It is. I'm not depriving myself of anything, because 20% of the time I can eat whatever I want. And for me, that 20% is going to be one meal a week. Right now. Until I've got that under control, then I can really look at what 20% means. But I just have to have a healthy mental state, and I need to it really needs to resonate within my heart. Because I really think that food, when you're addicted to food, which, if I can be completely honest, that's me. Unfortunately, I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I have been listening to a bunch of experts this month speak on several different topics, and one of them was binge eating disorder. And I've always been ashamed of this, and you know what? It's time to come out and share my story. And so I'm telling you right now, I don't necessarily think I have the disorder, but I have definitely found myself binge eating, and I never could figure out why. And girls with PCOS have sometimes struggle with that. And so I thought, okay, great. So that was another big part of why I needed to change my mental state and why I need to change my heart. Because when these two things don't line up, nothing gets done. You can tell something to your mind over and over, but until it registers in your heart, nothing is going to change. And so I've been working on myself. I've been working on my heart these last few months, and I feel that big changes are coming, and I finally feel like I have a control on food, and that's nothing like I've ever felt before. I've always felt so out of control. And so I thought, 2 years ago when I was doing the Whole30, that was going to be a big life changer, and it was a life changer for me, but not in the way that I needed it to be. And so I have just been learning these last few months what it really means to control that for myself. So it's really been trying to get my heart and my mind lined up with each other so that I can have an overall healthy mentality. I really do believe that to be healthy overall, you have to have a positive mental attitude. Your spiritual fitness has to be there as well. For me, that's being in the Word every single day and listening to what God has to say and not what the world has to say. The world says I'm not good enough. God says all you need is me. You are good enough. You're good enough for me, and I love you. That's what He says, and I need to be listening to what He says over what the world says. You have to have a healthy physical body, and I'm working on that. I am working every day in making healthy decisions for myself. It starts one decision at a time. You can't look at the whole picture. You have to just start with what's in front of you right now. And for me, that's really important to be focusing on because I'm a big picture girl. I like to dream. I like to dream about what it's going to be like when I lose 50 pounds or what it's going to be like when I'm rich and famous someday. I have all these big dreams. But I can't look at the big picture right now. I have to stay focused on what I'm doing right this minute. We're not promised tomorrow, so I have to do my best today. So I'm trying to focus on being a healthy person, not just having a healthy body, but overall being healthy. And so I wasn't focusing on that last year or even 2 years ago, or even when I started this journey. I started this journey purely in hope that I would be skinny. And boy, has that mentality changed. So I just want to share that with you. I want to share with you where I'm at because I think it's good to be honest. You've been following my journey. Many of you have been following my journey from the start. And I owe it to you to be honest with you and to be honest with myself. So that's where I'm at today. I hope that if this helps you, I hope that you will take something away from it and start applying to your life. Just start one step at a time. That's all it takes. And I would love to hear how this has helped you or what you're doing right now to keep being healthy. And I always love to hear from you because that's what I'm here to do is to encourage you and to support you on your journey as well. But you guys have encouraged and supported me on mine and I am so appreciative of that. So even if I can give back a little, I hope to. So I hope you have a great day and I hope you don't hate me for being a fraud. I hope you can understand where I'm coming from and what my heart is. So have a good Thursday and I will see you all on Facebook.